AskReddit by Curious Anime Nerd. If you had the ability to bring back a cancelled series, what would it be? There was this show called Awake. Started Jason Isaacs and had Dylan Minnette in it too. Guy gets in a car accident, and then can't determine which reality is his real one. In one, his wife died in the car accident and his son lived, in the other the opposite. When he goes to bed with his wife, he wakes up in the reality where she died and his son lived. It was a mindfuck and I loved it. Trailer still exists. https://yahoo.be/cfpvoiqkfvk. This show and others on NBC, Life with Damian Lewis, for example, got cancelled when the experiment with Jay Leno hosting a 10 p.m. talk show occurred. IMHO, this was one of the biggest mistakes ever made on TV. NBC lost a lot of good shows. Still pisses me off. I want TLC and the History Channel to go back to being about learning and history. For anyone who loved Discovery, Animal Planet, and History Channel before they went stupid, I recommend Nat Geo Wild, and Smithsonian respectively. Great quality content about real things instead of Bigfoot, skinwalkers, and ghosts. Forever. A bit ironic that it was cancelled after the first season. Great actors, great characters. I loved Forever so much. They did that dirty by cancelling it. At least I'm able to get my fix with Harrow. Erie, Indiana. The first season was standalone eps, but season 2 had a whole story building about -X and why so many weird things happened in the town before they cancelled it. Loved that show. Showed it to my wife for the first time on Prime back in October. Such a great middle ground in between Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark nostalgia wise. Amazon's version of The Tick. It was cancelled for a stupid reason. New TV exec took over and wanted to scrap all the shows from previous TV exec. Yeah, this was my pick too. The show was well done and really captured the humor from the original cartoons and comic. I wish another service would have picked it up. Bring back Expanse in 5 years for the final arc. Well, this is really a tragic way to discover the Expanse isn't getting another season. Guess it might be time for the books. I would bring back I Am Not Okay With This. That first season held so much promise and I would have loved to see how dark they could have made the story go. But I suppose a good show getting cancelled is Netflix's MO at the moment. This is the one I was looking for. They had a gem there. The cast was incredible. Eureka and Warehouse 13. I always loved Eureka. Better Off Ted. The episode where they had to hire white people to follow the black employees around so the automatic lights would work for them is amazing. A show way ahead of its time. Travelers. I loved that show. At least they wrapped it up and didn't leave us on a cliff. Pushing Daisies. The facts were these. It had been 13 years 6 months 4 days 14 hours 22 minutes and 19 seconds since the show everyone had loved had been cancelled. Metalocalypse. Stops Cop is Me. Dead Like Me. Without a second's doubt. Also loved this show. Very rewatchable, could have run longer. A lot of the cast have been in other shows since but all their best performances characters were in Dead Like Me. MXC. Guy Lardouche. Rome. Or Deadwood. It is weird to think that part of why Rome was cancelled was because it was so expensive at $9 million per episode, and today Rings of Power is reportedly $60 million per. Mindhunter. Yup. Their plans for season 3 sounded incredible as well. Heroes, but only if they go back to how season 1 was. 100% agree, just more heroes like season 1. A bit more horror, less time travel, just no time travel dimension travel, it just ruins everything. There will always be mistakes with time travel. Jericho. Just finish it for fuck's sake. This is one I always think of. There have been many series that have been cancelled too soon, but this one sucked the most. Duck Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Yes. This show was so unique and interesting and I'm sad it was cancelled. The Boondocks. Fuck, I miss that show. It'll never be the same without Granddad. R.I.P. John Witherspoon. After reading this thread, it should be titled "Which show should you never start because you'll be disappointed by not having a concision?" Thanks to all of you, I know what to avoid. Also, Game of Thrones. I wish they hadn't stopped at season 6. I hope they decide to finish it someday. The It Crowd. UK version OBS. More than one version exists? Reminds me of when every other county tried to make their version of that 70s show. Duck Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Or obligatory Firefly comment. Stop cancelling shows with Alan Tudyk. Limitless. My favorite thing about that show is it wasn't derivative. They didn't spend 22 episodes teasing an attraction between the two leads. It might be the reason it wasn't popular enough to continue. I also really like that they had an attractive female lead that they didn't sexualize. They never had an episode where she inexplicably had to go undercover as a stripper or something. Great show. Teen Titans, the good one. Slade was such a great character. I really liked Batman Beyond too. They weren't afraid to get dark when the story needed it. Take a shot every time you see Firefly. Not taking as many shots as I thought. Maybe how I have it ordered, but I've only seen Firefly mentioned thrice. If I were to take a shot each time I saw the OA, I would be well and truly dead. Freaks and Geeks. Edit. Thank you all for the awards. At least it had a decent ending. I found Daniel playing D and Amp D with the geeks and having a sincerely good time to be oddly heartwarming. If I had the ability to bring back a series, Invader Zim and Symbionic Titan. Flash forward. Was looking for this. A comedy show called Happy Endings. I came here to say this. It didn't end on a cliffhanger or anything. I just want more episodes with these characters. I'd give the Owl House at least another full season. The reason it got cancelled was awful too. Disney said it didn't feel that it fit the Disney brand enough. Hannibal. Mads Mikkelsen, spelled that wrong, is incredible in that show. My name is Earl. Hey Crabman. It's not a cancelled series but old MTV. When it first came out it was just so good. Now, well. Altered Carbon. Lie to me. I joined Twitter to partake in the Severely Tome campaign. It didn't work, but Tim Roth replied to a couple of my tweets, so it was worth it. Final space. https://yahoo.be/bfg3ljzf2ka closed bracket. One of the first casualties of the Discovery merger ended on one bummer of a cliffhanger. Olin Rogers really can't catch a break. Balloon Shop imploded, another great example for this thread. His store got hit by a tornado and looted, and now a mega corporation has wiped his TV show from existence. You gotta feel for him. Star Trek Enterprise was just getting good when it was cancelled. And they gave it a spiteful, horrible closing episode. Honorable mention to the original Star Trek series, which only had 3 seasons and still changed our culture forever. Imagine if it got 7. Man, I cracked up when they had Riker in lower decks and he was late coming to the bridge because he was in a holosuite program. About the first Enterprise. 6,303 comments and not one mention of sliders. I loved the concept of the show because it was essentially limitless. Each alternate universe could be anything. You could start a new season with a portal opening and Jerry O'Connell plopping out of it like he never stopped. Marco Polo. Stopped with such a cliffhanger as well. Santa Clarita Diet. The cliffhanger really annoyed me when I found out it was cancelled. Just rewatched this with my husband. He hadn't seen it. I prepped him beforehand. You will love this show and you will be attached, but I'm telling you right now they cancelled it after a cliffhanger and you will never have closure. Truthfully, some stuff felt moderately satisfied. I'm okay with Eric and Abby's ending. Archive 81. I actually thought it was so interesting and then Netflix cancelled it after one season. It was in the top 10 for so long I thought it was practically guaranteed a second season and was absolutely crushed when it was cancelled. I absolutely loved it and couldn't wait for more. Almost Human. K. Urban. M. Ely. J.J. Abrahams. Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Best John Connor we ever got. Man, I love this show. Lena Headey was excellent too, as good as it gets if it's not Linda Hamilton. Brian Austin Green shows up, then is actually pretty damn good. Man, I miss that show. Might be time for another watch. My So-Called Life. The same characters and what they're all doing in the present. Deleted. Stargate. Which one? I feel SG-1 ran its course. Atlantis definitely needed one more season to at least give some closure. I never watched SGU so I can't comment on that one. Carnival every time. Man. Carnival was ahead of its time. Warrior Nun. It was just hitting its stride and I was super invested in the relationships and characters. Glow. Same for me. I know it was scrapped because of COVID shutdown, but they should not have fully terminated that series. I am not okay with this. Victim of the Pandemic. Got renewed for season 2 then cancelled because Netflix sucks. They did the same thing to Glow.